not my show.
That's true.
Ever. I don't really need to say very much, but I do want to, and I'm sure Peter will speak about all of these things. But of course, Peter, Paul, and Mary, Puff the Magic Dragon, and the song that Steve was just sound checking with was Peter founded Operation Respect based on that song after hearing it here at Kerrville. And he and Steve and many other artists, not just songwriters, but artists of dance and art and painting and songwriting, just spent 4 days with the students from Parkland. And right before coming here for Steve. Peter put all that together. He just said, okay, we're doing this, and you, and let's do this. And I believe that that will not be, that's just the beginning of his next creation for healing our world. And so just so delighted to have Peter here again at Threadgill with the full 2 hours to heal us. So welcome, Peter Yarrow.
It's amazing to see your faces. Oh, I can't look at you. It's so wonderful to be with you again. Now, I'm going to take this. Pretend like you don't know who he is. Wait till I introduce you. This is a song that we were doing at the introduction. And it's a very significant song because it kind of encapsulates a lot of what keeps me doing what I do. And I very frequently start concerts with it, and I have here. But it means more now, in a certain way, and it's more important now than it has been since the early 1960s.
Yep.
And I'll explain why that is. Because tonight is a lot of music, but it's also fulfilling what I believe is my role in being at Kerrville. And it's a role that I think is a great honor. Because of the history of Peter, Paul, and Mary, where we found the essence of connection to each other through our activism. My perspective here has always been about the conjunction of music and advocacy as it existed in the 1960s. When I was at the March on Washington, Selma Montgomery March, the only person who was there, who had been there 50 years before, from the stage, at that concert that Harry Belafonte put together, was John Lewis. And John Lewis hit the nail on the head when he said, the civil rights movement without song would have been a bird without wings. It was not an adjunct, it was not entertainment. It was the soul connection. And I'll talk more about that later. But for the moment, here we are. Music speaks louder than words. It's the only thing that the whole world listens to. Music speaks louder than words. When you sing, people understand. understand. The longer I live, the more I find that people seldom take the time, they seldom take the time to really get to know a stranger and make him a friend. But the power of a simple song can let everybody know that we all belong. Maybe singing and playing can bring us together. Maybe singing and playing can bring us together. Singing and playing can bring us together again. Maybe it can bring us together again. Music speaks louder than words. It's the only thing that the whole world listens to. Music speaks louder than words. When you sing, people understand. Okay, now you can join us. Music speaks louder than words. And you can bring up my brother Leighton. Brilliant Leighton. Bring the guitar up a couple of dB, okay? And when you sing this, we're just going to sing the melody so as not to confuse you. If you get confused about the lyrics, look at our lips. That's what Peter Paul and Mary used to do. Sometimes I'd see Mary, like a deer with the headlights in her eyes. You say, how many years can a mountain? I said, oh. That didn't happen until the last part of our art. Here we go, music speaks. Music speaks louder than words. It's the only thing that the whole world listens to. Music speaks louder than words. When you sing, people understand. Okay, I heard some harmonies. Who gave you the right to sing? Okay, harmonies are welcome. Here we go again. Music speaks louder than words. Music speaks louder. It's the only thing that the whole world listens to. Music speaks louder than words. When you sing, people understand. That's really too beautiful. Will somebody please do what they tell you not to do? They said no pictures, no videos. First of all, it's too late for me to worry about that. And second, we do need to record this moment because tonight's going to be really important.
You bet.
I promise you. Here we go. Once again, just listening to is that's the welcome home. That is it. Again, here we go. Music speaks louder than words. It's the only thing that the whole world listens to. Music speaks louder than words. When you sing, people understand. That must be Nathan. Sometimes the love you feel inside, it's lost between your heart and your mind. And the words don't really say the things that you wanted them to. Then you hear in someone's song what you've been trying to say all along. And somehow, with the magic of music, the message comes through. Music speaks louder than words. It's the only thing that the whole world listens to. Music when you sing, when you sing, people understand. Okay, this time, just yourselves. And I'm going to listen to that sound, and I'm going to characterize it in my heart as being something. Is that the sound of animosity? I think not. Is that the sound of aggression? Is that the sound of money? Is that the sound of selfishness and greed? Is that the sound of narcissism? Is that the sound of fame? Here we go. Music speaks louder than words. It's the only thing the whole world listens to. Music speaks louder than words. When you sing, you'll understand. Okay, last time, all of us together. Music speaks louder than words. Music speaks loud. It's the only thing that the whole world listens to. Music speaks louder than words. When you sing, you will understand. Yeah, when you sing, you will understand. When you sing, people understand. To me, that's magic. That's magic to hear you. It's not terribly distinct from the sound I heard at the March on Washington. There were a few more people there, 250,000, but it was the same thing. So to you, don't blurt it out. Tell me, what is that sound? Characterize it with a word. It is the sound of? Raise your hand. If you know it, don't blurt it. I know you. Yes. Love. See? You're a bunch of cornballs here. Actually, that's not only the case spiritually, but physiologically. That it is well known that something happens in the body, chemistry-wise, when you're singing together, not alone, when you're singing together, that only happens in this way when you're engaged in romantic love. So there is something that happens because there is a sense that we become internally united. And when that happens, something occurs. For instance, school kids who don't have music in their classrooms anymore, they, if I ask them to sing and they're teenagers and they haven't done it, no, they're embarrassed. Why are they embarrassed? Because they know that when they sing together like that, they will reveal themselves. And in today's world, partially as a product of the fact that that doesn't exist for them, they're not used to or comfortable taking off their masks in that way. That's one of the reasons that we need that music with kids when they're growing up. Because all of a sudden, hey, we're just together. We don't have to be embarrassed to open our hearts and be experiencing that word that you came up with, which was, started with an L. I forget what it was, but longing, no. Languish, yes, it's the sound of language. Anybody else have a word? You blurted out. Wait, harmonies, but let me see, somebody raise her. Yes? You stay after school. You're the one I want to work with. That's what it is. That is what it is. This is why. John Lewis said, without song, the civil rights movement would have been a bird without wind, because it was a force for unity, a force for unification of people's spirits. When they went to jail, when they were the freedom riders, and they yanked them off the bus, beat them up and threw them in jail, the jailer came to the warden and he said, "There's something wrong. We beat them up, we broke their bones, they're all, but they seem to be happy. They're so happy, they're singing." Well, the warden said, "Tell them they can't sing." He went and said, "You can't sing. You know, this is our rule. You can't sing." They said, "We're singing." "Oh yeah, we'll take away your mattresses. You'll sleep on cold steel." We're singing. Why did they sing? Because of what you said, unity. That's what Peter, Paul, and Mary did. In the name of Pete Seeger, who was our guide and mentor and showed the path. With our intention, that people could feel what was in our hearts, and they became unified and stronger. And for our entire career, that was the anthem of our efforts. Now, we're going to sing a song and bring Mary into our midst. And I'm going to ask you to do something that I didn't ask people to do until the concert 2 days after the last election. Presidential election, of course. And what you have to do is you have to put your arms around the shoulders of the people next to you. Get close enough so you can do that. But don't do it until we get to the second half. Yes. You have to do it when we get to the second chorus of Leaving on a Jet Plane. And what you do is you go, "I'm leaving," but you do it the way you used to do. "All we are saying is give peace a chance," like that. Put your hand in this way. "All we are saying is give peace." Instead of doing, "Kiss me and smile for me." Okay, not until the second chorus. All the bags are packed, I'm ready to go. Standing here outside your door. Hate to wake you up to say goodbye. But the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome, I could cry, kiss and smile, releasing Mary's part. Kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. Leaving on a jet plane, leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate you go. So many times I've let you down. So many times I've played around. I tell you now, they don't mean anything. Every place I go, every place I go, I think makes you close your eyes. I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come. Dream about the days to come. When I won't have to leave alone. About the times I'm going to have to say. Here we go. Kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. Leaving on a jet plane. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. I'll be here on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Oh, Mary, we hate to see you go. Now you're going to know why I asked you to do that and why I did it at the first concert I did after the election, which was in Michigan, one of those states. Right? Why did I do it? You'll know now. Would you turn to the person around whose shoulders you put your arms that you know least? And when you know least, okay? Look at that person in the eyes now, please. Look at each other in the eyes and say, look at each other in the eyes and say, that was fun. Well, let's try it again. Look at the person in the eyes that you know least of the two people that you're next to. Look at them right now and say, that was fun. Now you're going to have another task. Look at that same person in the eyes once again and say, I don't know how you voted, but we could still be friends. Now, a lot of tonight is going to be a lot of tonight is going to be, you can raise the overall level just a couple dB. More people have scooped up the sound, that's right. A lot of tonight is going to be what I said at the beginning when I came here. I said, I'm kind of the messenger about certain kinds of activism that include music. And we have a very, very distressed country population now. And part of that has to do with something that mirrors the situation in Germany prior to its becoming fascistic, prior to the Nazis taking over. The country there was divided. They had found a target, a series of targets to hate. And those targets were Jews, gypsies, gays and lesbians, and people with psychological disabilities and challenges. And these people were hated because they were polluting what it needed to become the master race. The master race. The master base. The master base of all chicken. So they needed to do that now. That divided the country, so when it came to taking what was a very civilized society and turning it into one that did inconceivable, egregious things, they couldn't come together. As it would be today if, let's say, there was an edict that came down that all people who have been deported from the United States, if they have the audacity to illegally return, they will be subject to being put in camps, like the Japanese were put in camps, and subject to extraordinary rendition, meaning torture. Now, if this were any other time, as a body, the United States, people, no matter what their politics would say, you cannot do that. That is antithetical to everything we are. But today it would be politicized. If we are to save ourselves from following the path that precedes the advent of a totalitarian government, of a dictatorship, of a monstrous type of the negation of everything that America has managed to produce, we must reach across the aisle and say, I don't care, I don't know how you voted, but we can still be friends. I'm not asking you to do that unassisted, because goodness knows I knew the anxiety that existed between the Democrats and the Republicans in South Lebanon when I went there with a camera crew to record the second Better Angels workshop, where over a period of 3 days, 13 hours of interaction, guided by Dr. Bill Doherty, incredible change took place. And the mythology of the need to fear the other and think that the other was either crazy or, drunk the Kool-Aid, or was incorrigible, or was offensive, or too stupid, or whatever. But certainly not somebody to whom one could talk rationally. That was exploded, that mythology, on both sides. And what did the people do when they came in? The first exercises, he said, the people who are Democrats or lean blue, you go in the room and you figure out what are the 5 things that are said about you that are you find most untrue and injurious, painful. And the same thing, you Republicans go into the room and you figure out, make a list. Then you ask yourselves, after you've made that list, to what degree do you think that is true? And then it said, there was one other task. They came back together and they had a representative from each of the groups, and they heard each other saying, it hurts when I hear that you think we're all stupid. It hurts when I think that you think I want to kill babies, that I don't respect life. It hurts when you say, I don't care about the people with no money who are struggling. It hurts, etc., etc. And they began to realize, then when they heard them reflect on that and say something that was critical of that position, and express the fact that there were some people indeed in their group that conformed to that stereotype, all of a sudden they realized they could talk. They realized that there was, over this period of time, it's now been cut down to 6 hours. It was 13 hours. And these Better Angels gatherings are going on all over the country. And I'm shortly going to a gathering where we have 150 representatives, and we have now over 150 trainers trained. And this energy is also going to be amplified by Steve Seskin. He's going to be there. He's written a song that could be anthemic to them. When I was at this gathering, I kept a low profile until the end, and then by the end, I did a concert, and they were all singing "We Shall Overcome" with their arms crossed. So, that's the news from the Frente. And now, we're going to do one other song, and then I'm going to let Christopher introduce himself to you, because, you don't want to hear the kinds of things that you already know. What I'd like him to speak a little bit about is his own history with Kerrville as a little boy growing up here, who grew up a lot. Children are listening. If we say something cruel and harsh, they will do the same. The children are listening. The children are listening. If they grow up to be bullies, we'll have ourselves to blame. Try that. Here we go, together. The children are listening again. The children are listening. We say something cruel and harsh, they will do the same. The children are listening. The children are listening. If they grow up to be bullies, we'll have ourselves to blame. Miracles can happen, even on the darkest day, when we fear that all is lost, and that hope has gone astray. Sometimes we drop our weapons when the price we pay is too great. Sometimes we drop our weapons when the price we pay is too great. When the damage to the ones we love is greater than our hate. It's time to come together across the dividing lines for the children who are suffering with the pain in these hard times. It's not just ridicule and taunts and bullying by their peers. Grown-ups rage and hate-filled words are ringing in their ears. The children are listening. The children are listening. If we say something cruel and harsh, they will do the same. The children are listening. The children are listening. If we're all to be bullies, we'll have ourselves to blame. Bigotry and hatred still hang heavy in the air. They poison children's hearts and minds and leave them in despair. But if we defeat these demons that keep us so far apart, love and true forgiveness can begin to heal our hearts. Well, the healing won't be easy, because the pain we've caused runs deep. The injury that we have caused, we fear one day will reap. But if we stand together and with one voice at last raise our voices in peace and love, this painful time will pass. The children are listening. The children are listening. If we say something cruel and harsh, they will do the same. The children are listening. The children are listening. If they grow up to be bullies, we'll have ourselves to blame. There's no doubt that increasingly the world has grown unfair, and for some just plain survival takes more than they can bear. But if we attack each other, we play the enemy's game, and we fail to see that across the line the suffering's much the same. Well, we can defeat this enemy if we recognize its face. Let the hatred that divides us finally be erased. Let's finally stand together, and with one voice loud and clear, let these songs of healing be the ones that children hear. The children are listening. The children are listening. If we say something cruel and harsh, they will do the same. The children are listening. The children are listening. If they grow up to be bullies, we'll have ourselves to blame. Very softly. The children are listening. The louder. The children are listening. The louder. The children are listening. Very loud. The children are listening. My sorry. Oh, you need to say something.
I don't need your stinking badges. They need to do something in the center. I'd like to take this moment to introduce somebody who is standing next to me, and there are certain similarities, but there are also certain distinctions. He grew up here in many ways, and the unity of Kerrville and the spirit became part of his DNA. So he's going to say a few words here. And one of the things I'd like him to speak about is his experience in Kerrville, to kind of revalidate its importance in your lives and ours. Would you please welcome to the stage, because he hasn't been here ever before, Christopher Yarrow.
I'm not sure exactly what to say. I have some things that will come. So first of all, hello my family. It's good to be here, and for all those that have passed that we've known and have come before us, and the spirits of this land, thank you for all of them. We remember you. Thanks. So when I was little, I was brought here, but I didn't really get it, you know. I just came, and it was hot, and it got late, and I think I was down in the campgrounds when it was muddy, and and I came back again and it was hot, and somebody took me to the river, and it was amazing. That was when I was about 15 or 13, and then when I was about 21, my college roommate and I came out here and camped out for the first time, and I finally got it. It was a great party, it was amazing music, the camping's wonderful, and from there I joined staff and got to know some folks here, and then was asked to host the staff concert for 10 years in a row, hosted the staff concert and got to know some amazing musicians, and it's been wonderful. I've quit my job and come here before. I've traveled, I've driven here, I've flown here, and the music is wonderful and inspiring. I discovered the washtub bass here. Washtub Jerry I saw play, and then my friends had an energy camp, had a washtub bass laying around, and got to play that, and it's been an instrument that's really been able to, I've been able to express myself musically and kind of find a singing voice again, and you all have been inspirational in helping to make that happen, so thank you for all that. And the music of my life. I've listened to CDs over and over at home, and brought friends here and some deserving young singer-songwriters from up in the Pacific Northwest, and it's like that. And I love the multi-generationalness of all of this, that we all hang out with people. We have friends of all different stratospheres of ages, from little ones to our elders and everywhere in between. And so I'm really grateful for it. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you for everybody that's here, that's working on this. Thank you, Dad, for bringing me here. And the way that he talks to all of you, the way that he's been sharing, this is how he talks to me too. It's a little different because we're in the concert context. We don't sing before he shares these things. We're maybe sharing a meal, but he shares these things, and I get them, when I join him in concert, I get to hear more in depth about what has happened. But that's the message he wants to share. So this is an intimate conversation with each of you as you're here. That's what he's sharing here, and the singing along part of it. It's not a song circle, but we're taking turns in certain ways. So I don't want to go on too much longer. I just am really grateful to be here, and it means a lot to me, and I love this land, and I love Texas in this way. And thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
For those of you, you're noticing that at certain times that I'm going to reach out. No, I want you to understand. I want to be transparent about this. I'm not kissing him, actually. He has a patch of heroin on his head. It's a good disguise. Now, I'm going to ask Steve Seskin to come up in two portions of this concert. One of them that relates to the issues of an entity that grew out of a song that Dallas mentioned, Don't Laugh at Me, Operation Respect, and give you a report on that. And that will be conjoined with a report on the work of Better Angels, which is very much connected. Because if Better Angels is to function properly, it's going to bring people together with respect. So, and the same way we've needed to do that with children through the program, Don't Laugh at Me. And we are, for instance, in America, we've hit 22,000 schools have used or adopted the curriculum, Operation Respect. If you want to get a copy of it, it's free. We determined it would never be sold, so that there would never be some children who could access it and other children who couldn't. So, and it's free, you go online, and we used to have to send it physically before the net allowed us to just post it there. And it's a comprehensive curriculum using social and emotional learning. And not only is it in the United States, but we've been called to bring it to other countries. In Israel, it's now in 63% of the schools, both Arabic and Jewish. And that's ridiculous. If that were the case here, we'd be in 60,000 schools. Now, in Ukraine, they called it, and we worked together with the Peace Corps, and thousands of Peace Corps volunteers went into schools with the Ukrainian partners, and it was translated into Ukrainian, our 6 basic songs. Don't Laugh at Me was the anthem. We Shall Overcome, Where Have All the Flowers Gone, Blowing in the Wind, This Little Light of Mine, and Down by the Riverside. And you'll hear them at the way. You'll hear them in Ukrainian, in English, and then combined. In the Israeli curriculum, you'll hear them with David Broza, who has been here many times singing in Arabic, and Amal Merkez in Arabic. No, he sings it in Hebrew, she sings it in Arabic. And we've just expanded, we've gone into Nablus last year, into the West Bank of Palestine. We're in Mexico, we're in Hong Kong, we're a song at Kerrville has had this impact. And this is extraordinary. And of course, the songwriter, along with his partner, Alan Shamblin, Steve Seskin, when I heard him, I came to hear him at this theater, because my daughter Bethany, who was sung with me on the Kerrville stage, as well as Christopher, she said, Dad, I heard a song at the campfire last night that was ridiculous. I've never seen it happen before. They asked him after he finished singing it to sing it again. I have never been at a campfire when the next person wasn't waiting with their teeth chattering and with the beads of sweat for their chance to share. But everybody, no, they do it again. And she said, it's perfect for Peter, Paul, and Mary. Everybody cries.
Great.
And that's what we did. We went there and we sat there, and sure enough, the tears rolled down my cheeks. And I brought it to Mary and to Noel, Paul, Stookie, and we all cried together, which was not unusual. The folks in a group that cries together and gets arrested together stays together.
No, you don't.
And then we started singing the song. But we weren't singing the song based upon our understanding of somebody else's story. Because having heard the song, we were compelled to start talking about how we responded to the cruelty that surrounded us when we were young. Artists tend to have certain sensibilities, and for us, it was painful when we saw bullying. And we ourselves, of course, were targeted. We all were, to one degree or another. And as we told our stories, we wept. So we got on stage and we were telling our story too. And it so happened that we went before the NAESP, the National Association of Elementary School Principals, 6,000 principals. You try singing to 6,000 principals. I'm telling you, that's a force to contend with. And at the end of it, they got up as one. You know the way people get up and give standing ovations? One person on the outside, yeah! Somebody else on the other side, yeah. And everybody else says, oh God, all right. In this case, it was simultaneous, 6,000 principals, as if there was a buzzer on the seat. Got up, and afterwards they said, give us that song. That's what we are trying to teach. This is the essence of what we are about. And so we created the curriculum with Educators for Social Responsibility. And now we're living a different phase of that history. So I want to call Steve up to sing that song with me, and then a couple of songs that he has written for Better Angels. And you'll hear how this cross-pollinates, okay? This is the news, folks. This is not just a bunch of songs, as I think you've guessed. Would you please welcome to the stage Kerrville's own Steve Seskin. now we're going to do that song. And I love it when we do it together. And Christopher will also join us. Okay.
Rod, what do I got tape for?
That's not deep.
My table is full. The children are listening.
Okay, got it.
One, two.
I'm a little boy with glasses, the one they call the geek. A little girl who never smiles. I've got braces on my teeth, and I know how it feels to cry myself to sleep.
Yes, I am the kid on every playground, the one that's chosen last. I'm a single teenage mother trying to overcome my past. You don't have to be my friend, but is it too much to ask? Don't laugh at me, don't call me names, don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect brains. Don't laugh at me.
And I'm the beggar on the corner. You've passed me on the street. Hey, I wouldn't be out here begging if I had enough to eat. Don't think I don't notice that our eyes never meet.
Don't laugh at me, don't call me names, don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect wings. Don't laugh at me. I'm fat, I'm thin, I'm short, I'm tall, I'm deaf, blind. Hey, aren't we all? And I'm black, I'm white, and I'm brown. Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and Buddhist. I was born in Sarajevo, born in Kosovo. I was born in Northern Ireland, I was born in Africa. I'm Hutu, I'm Tutsi, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, and I am American, Indian, and very, very young. I'm quite aged. I was born in Iraq and Afghanistan, born in the Sudan, in Mexico, Canada, the United States of America. I'm very wealthy, I'm very poor, I'm Israeli and Palestinian. Don't laugh at me. Everybody sing, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me, don't call me names, don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, it is of thee. I sing. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me.
I'm going to do a couple songs for you that Peter, when Peter enlisted me to get involved in Better Angels, I jumped at the chance. My heart is so in that place that if we could just talk to each other, things would be a whole lot better than they are right now. At least we got not much to lose, actually. They're a bit more divided, and I'm going to play one that Peter's never heard, actually, because I've written a bunch of them now, preparing for this June 7th concert. So both of these are written with Alan Champlin. One of them you've heard, one of them you haven't. And this is a song called I'm Willing to Wear It. And we were sitting around talking about how the labels that we all put on each other, and we're all been guilty of it. And you label somebody like they believe one thing, and you decide that they must therefore believe all these other things about all these other things that you don't even have any idea what they believe. And it happens all across the political spectrum. And we decided it might be time to not have so many of those. And it's called Willing to Wear It. You want to help the poor, you're a socialist. You want to make a healthy profit, you're a greedy son of a bitch. You like to recycle, you're a tree hugger. You don't believe in global warming, you're an apocalypse lover. Labels, 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 labels. You love your granddaddy's pistol, you're a gun fanatic. You like to smoke a little marijuana, you're a drug addict. You support the boys in blue and some bozo calls you a racist. You want to discipline a bad cop. Hey, you're a troublemaking activist. Political correctness from the muck. I've been keeping my mouth shut. It's time for speaking up. I'm willing to wear it. I'm willing to own what I believe in. Gonna fly my flag for all to see. Let the haters take their shots at me. That's the cross I have to bear. I'm willing to bear it. Hey, I'm willing to wear it. We take off the gloves. We forget how to love when we're hiding behind a screen name. We assassinate each other's character like we're racking up points in a video game. It's like the bus has come off the wheels of our society. The blame falls on you and it falls on me. It's like we forgot how to respectfully disagree. Without an olive branch and a dove, I don't think there's much hope for us. I'm convinced the only answer is love. I'm willing to wear it. I'm willing to own what I believe in. Gonna fly my flag for all
run amok. I've been keeping my mouth shut. It's time for speaking up. I'm willing to wear it. I'm willing to own what I believe in. Gonna fly my flag for all to see. Let the haters take their shots at me. If that's the cross I have to bear, I'm willing to bear it. I'm willing to wear it. I'm willing to wear it. I'm willing to wear it. Thank you very much. So, you know, the interesting thing about my buddy Alan Shamblin wouldn't mind me sharing with you that, as are the two guys who kind of started Better Angels, they've been good friends their whole lives, and but they come from a little different part of the political spectrum. And yet they've always been able to be friends and to carry on good, healthy debate with the true notion of trying to understand how the other one feels about something, and coming from a place of respect. And Alan Shamblin and I have been friends for 27 years, and let's just say we come from a little different part of the political spectrum often, and yet we've had some of the best conversations I've ever had in my whole life with somebody about every issue you can imagine under the sun. And when Peter asked us to do this, we said, well, we're kind of, in a way, we're two more poster children for this Better Angels project, because I don't know, the idea of bringing us together appeals to me. And we were thinking about Kerrville when we wrote this song. We were at Thomas and Gail Chapman's wonderful place called Sycamore Creek. If you've never been there for a concert, do it. It's in Dripping Springs. It's a fabulous place. And they were nice enough to put Alan and I up for the whole week in between a bunch of dates we did in April in Texas. And that's where we wrote that last song and this one. And somebody at our show one night said, man, it's amazing what can happen around a campfire in Kerrville. And of course, Alan, ever the songwriter, wrote that down. Just so you know, we're a shameless bunch, these songwriters. If you're talking to us, we're listening, but we're basically waiting for you to say something we can turn into a song. It's called A Campfire and a Song. This morning I was looking for an old photograph, and a million memories came flooding back. I was a tenderfoot, 10 or 11, Boy Scout Troop 907. There was this one kid who kept picking on me. He was from the inner city and I was from the country. We found an arrowhead and reached for it at the same time. He said it was his. I said it was mine. We had some words and came to blows. Busted lip and a bloody nose. They had us washing dishes, standing right beside each other, and 3 hours later, we were like blood brothers. By the way, we both got our merit badges, making a campfire with just 2 matches. And when the troop leader took out his guitar, 100 boys started singing 'neath the stars. Oh, Susanna, boom, chicka boom, home on the range 'neath the Texas moon. And by the time we were done, we were one. Some say this world's about to go the way of the buffalo, if we don't find a way to get along. Maybe the Indians had it right when they passed around the peace pipe in a circle where everyone belonged. Maybe it's time we come together round a campfire and a song. You know, these days I cherish every friend I've got. And my best friend since the last election, we haven't even talked. We used to sit around fire pit, backyard barbecue, singing "You've Got a Friend," "Let It Be," and "Hey Jude." And if united we stand and divided we fall, if those words hold any truth at all, maybe I should give him a call. What do I have to lose? Some say this world's about to go the way of the buffalo if we don't find a way to get along. Maybe the Indians had it right when they passed around a peace pipe in a circle where everyone belongs. Maybe it's time we come together round a campfire. Maybe it's time we come together, learn to love each other. Maybe it's time we come together at Kerrville round a campfire and a song.
See how relevant that is to Kerrville, but it's also this spirit of Kerrville that we've been sharing has been now establishing itself in Better Angels, Better Angels, Better slash Angels, Better dash Angels.
Maybe we can make the world more like Kerrville.
Yeah! Let's do that. Yes!
Okay.
I'm going to call, I'll go back to this. I'm going to call Steve back in a little bit. I'm going to set this up because now I'm going to shift gears to something else that has come along. That's really very much part of what Steve and I have been singing about. By the way, that song, to me, might emerge as yet another Heal in the Wisdom kind of song that tells the story of what Kerrville is. It's not a platform for music of stardom without content and heart. It never was. But what it has done has impacted the world because this music has traveled and has an extraordinary effect and will continue to do that. Just a little more than 3 weeks ago, I got a call from the president of Young and Rubicon, which is perhaps the most established ad agency, old school, waspy. My best friend in elementary school, Stephen Feldman, his dad was in Young and Rubicon. He was the token Jew at the time. It was very waspy. And now I got a call from the current CEO who I met through David Broza. David Broza, an Israeli, who is he's like a combination of, all the activists that we have, but in Israel, he's amazing. And his name is David Sable, and he said, Peter, I did something, and I have a vision of something. There was a gathering at a stadium in Israel where everybody got together and sang the same song. Everybody knew it. And I had a vision yesterday of that happening because of the people that I brought together from the ad world to meet the Parkland students. These were the leaders of the ad agencies, of which he is the president. P.S. He is an Orthodox Jew. Yeah, there has been progress. And I think I want you and David. David has written an anthem or two for Israel. He said, I want you and David to write a song for the Parkland kids. And I said, yes, but I'm not going to go down there and write a song. I'm not going to write a song for them. I'm going to go down there and let them write the song. And I'll be the facilitator, and I'll do it with David Rosa. And I will bring other songwriters whose lives are committed to using music to bringing people together. Activists. A Black Lives Matter activist who's in St. Louis that you address as they, although she presents as a woman, because she is of fluid, non-binary sexuality. Amazing young black they. Instead of saying, there she goes, you say, there they go. Two members of the Peace Poets that I met in Harlem doing a Black Lives Matter event in a church. Whose whole lives, they all were seminarians. And they're rappers, and they're straight folks, and they're brilliant. And they've come to the Unity concert that my daughter started in the Black Hills of South Dakota for the return of the Black Hills to the Great Sioux Nation. It's gone on for 4 years, and they came there. And then Keith Sekola, who is Native American, and he wrote the song Indian Car that you may have heard. He came. And then Kevin Salem, who's, okay, so you get the picture. 12 singer-songwriters. And this is how we started. Steve Seskin got up and he wrote a song with everybody because he has an organization called Kids Write Songs. And he knows better than anybody, I think, how to interact so that the kids really know that they have written that song. And that he, like a mentor or an editor, has helped shape it. Generally, they write a lot of the lyrics, and he writes more of the music. And everybody saw how we did it. And then we divided it into 5 separate groups. And then we came back together, and when we heard the songs that had come out, we were overwhelmed. These were 20 students, including the writers of Shine. And the next day we did it again, only this time it began with Luke Nephew, who is from the Peace Poets, explaining that you need to write songs for activism that are, some of them tell a story, some of them are part of empowering people when they're marching, when they have planned a particular kind of an action, when they're in front of television. Sometimes it's just a chant. And then they had their assignments. In all, we came out with 13 songs that are most amazing. And we are going now, Kevin Salem, who has produced all of the music for Don't Laugh at Me with the he's going to produce the album, and we're going to, and Viacom, which is MTV, is going to provide the studio, and then we're going to make, we're not going to make, the kids are going to make videos in the way that they wrote the songs, with mentors. And then they're going out. And guess what? If Shine became what it was, how is it that that happened? When people write songs all the time about political, social, consciousness things, but they never see the light of day. What is different? And how is it that that will affect Kerrville? Well, I'm going to tell you about that, but first I want you to get a taste of what those songs were like. And I'm going to ask Steve to come out and sing the song, the first one that he wrote with them, and maybe another one, and then I'm going to do the work in progress that is the song that I wrote with them. And then I'm going to present the idea that I think could have as universal an effect and more as Don't Laugh at Me, and could affect all of us. So let me ask Steve to come back on stage now and sing. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks. So this was the first song we wrote. I'll just say that it was such an honor to be included in this project, and it was life-changing. I mean, to be with all these kids who've just been through this tragedy. And we realized when we went there that we had a couple of different things to accomplish. First and foremost, to get their souls on paper about what had happened. But if you think about it, if you've heard some of the coverage of Parkland, these kids, they're smart, they're organized, and they have an agenda that they want to get out. And I remember saying to the other writers, you know, that's great. We need to get some of that agenda in these songs, but we also need to remember that these kids need healing, that they've been through the ringer, and they might not even share that with us. They might not even make that as known as, they might not know they need it as much as they do. And I'm happy to say that the songs are a really great conglomeration of getting their message out, but also letting their hearts heal. And this song's kind of a combination of both. It was an idea that a young man had, was a Parkland student. I did a kind of thing where I just asked them to come up with titles. We had about 14 of them on the board. And then we voted. A quicker election than our nation's election, should we tell you. It's like about less than a minute. And when we got down to it, about 11 or 12 out of the 20 voted for this title, and it's called Song for the Silenced, as in silenced. And I would love to teach you the chorus so that if you feel like singing when it comes back around, maybe you could. So I'll do it slowly. This is a song for the silenced, the ones that we lost in a sea of violence. We're speaking for those who can't speak anymore. They are the ones that we're fighting for. This is a song for the silenced. They want us to forget and just move on, but we're never gonna stop. Our convictions are too strong. We are the change, we are the change, we are the change. If we won't let the victims die in vain, we're gonna rise up from all this pain. We are the change, we are the change, we are the change. This is a song for the silenced, the ones that we lost in a sea of violence. We're speaking for those who can't speak anymore. They are the ones we are fighting for. This is a song, this is a
for change. There are empty chairs in the classrooms where our friends used to sit. And we hope someday the NRA sees their role in it. We'll vote for change. We'll vote for change. We'll vote for change. This is a song for the silenced, the ones that we lost in a sea of violence. We're speaking for those who can't speak anymore. They are the ones we are fighting for. This is a song. This is a song for the silenced. Sing with me if you feel like. This is a song for the silenced, the ones we lost. The ones that we lost in a sea of violence. We're speaking for those who can't speak anymore. They are the ones we are fighting for. This is a song. This is a song. This is a song. This is a song for the silenced. Thank you.
Listen, can you get me my computer because I don't remember the words to this.
You have to remember that the singers on these
The singers on these hats. Good enough. The singers on these songs, when we record it, as to the degree possible, the students will be not only singing the leads and playing, and then we're also considering of having people like Alicia Keys come down and sing background. Just like we're stepping back as songwriters, they're going to be stepping back as video makers, like the kids do it, and musicians and singers, and we will honor that. And that in and of itself is something new. This has never been done before, what is being done here. And it could have a remarkable effect, and I'll explain that in a second. But first, I want to do what I can to convey this song that I was writing with him. And literally, all the words are theirs. Okay. Thank you. Oh, I think this.
Oops. Fix the stand.
I'll sing Day is Done, Puff the Magic Dragon, if that's what you would like at the end of the concert, so we'll have a little bit of that traditional stuff, because I know that there will be serious injury to me if I don't.
Ah. Yes.
Okay. Now you have to understand that when you're singing with these kids, that you're sitting next to somebody that saw his best friend killed. You're sitting next to somebody who can be enthusiastic one moment, and the next moment, their eyes glaze over, because the trauma that they've experienced is so profound. And you have to understand that the situation in which you are in will result, as you find it, in kids feeling extraordinarily moved and liberated by the process and empowered. Okay, here it is. Can you bring the guitar up, please? Not that much, just a teeny bit. Carnations were laid on the desk. Laughter filled the air. Gifts were shared with one another. Tender, loving care. Dreams and aspirations shine in our eyes. Waiting for tomorrow, for the sun to arise. Valentine's Day, love in the air. Suddenly gunshots, fear everywhere. Searching for safety in the arms of our friends. Terrified, shaking, where will it end? Lost in the sounds, of sirens, helicopters high above, now forced to live in a new world. Hatred, confusion, and love, thoughts and prayers have become a disguise, hiding the change we seek. Rest of our lives. Valentine's Day, love in the air. Suddenly gunshots, fear everywhere. Searching for safety in the arms of our friends. Terrified, shaking, when will it end? We have to live in the present. Future, no guarantee. Always remember the fallen. Together we are one country. Tomorrow and now. We vote morally right. We will not top without a fight. Valentine's Day, love in the air, suddenly gunshots, fear everywhere, searching for safety in the arms of our friend, embracing the shock. When will it end?
Yeah.
So these songs are extraordinary, and you know that nobody could have written those songs except for those kids. And here is the idea, and then we're just going to sing some songs. Little puff, little along with the wind and stuff. And here's the challenge, and here's my vision. We have 12 extraordinary songwriters who are so transformed by this experience that we realize that the following has occurred. Very few songwriters know that if they write the next Blowing in the Wind, that it's going to become nationally known. Their money that makes the music business reach for the highest profit is not interested in finding the next Bob Dylan. It would not do terribly well on American Idol anyhow. It's not they're against it, it's just that the almighty dollar, the same almighty dollar that prioritizes guns over the safety of children, the fear in parents and the fear of children who say, as they did in Santa Fe, Texas, no, I was expecting this would happen sooner or later. What is the price that we are paying for money becoming the basis on which we sacrifice the heart of our nation? We sacrifice the music that can stimulate the heart. But using this mechanism that is emerging in Parkland, we are going to be able to bypass the money. We're going to get these songs, and you can hear that song that Steve wrote with them, that they wrote with Steve's help. That's an anthem. This is the song for the silenced, the ones that were lost in a sea of violence. This is the beginning of something, and here's my vision. I want all the Kerrville writers, Kerrville writers to be asked to be invited to join the 12 of us. Because what we're going to be doing is when we see there's Standing Rock, there's anti-fracking organization, there's this climate effort, there's an organization that I'm a part of that's gathering its soul together to prevent suicides among children and adults. I just wrote a song not long ago for affirming the importance of inoculations. Hey, you try and write a song. And I could sing it for you, but I'm telling you, I realized through this that this wellspring of talent, these songs get sung here, but then they go into the ether. But if a songwriter says, look, I have something, my heart belongs to this. This is, I know an organization that's working on anti-trafficking, sex trafficking, and other kinds of human bondage. They want a song. So, what you do, if you're a Kerrville songwriter, is you join this group. I'm going to make it part of Operation Respect, so we'll have a 501c3 over it. And then comes a request for the song. We put it out to all the songwriters. And then we put it out to the people who are asking for it. And they'll listen to the songs you've written, and they say, we'd like to ask this person, and maybe a few to write songs. And then, all of a sudden, we've got the connection between music and the hearts of people being gathered together the way they were in the Civil Rights Movement. And there's another part of this. Other kids are now beginning to believe they can have a voice because of these Parkland students. And if they call for it, they say, we need a song for our effort. You know, we can do this remotely. You know that song that you heard at the Women's March that was a cappella? It was all done through the net. And I believe this can usher in the thing that we need to advance. The thing that Kerrville has stood for. The thing that was initially the idea and the importance of the New Folks Concert, which was that songwriters have the capacity to move the hearts of people. If we want change, if we want unity and community and strength in that change, we need to move their hearts, and guess what? That's what songs will do. So I'm going to talk to Dallas, and see the vision, and the jumping on point. You know, I used to say, they say that the tree of love shine on me again. They say it grows on the bank of the river of suffering. Shine on me again. That's what I told the kids when I first met them. I went down first. I said, from out of the suffering, we will build more love. We will build more compassion. We will turn that sorrow into beauty and togetherness. That's what we're doing here at Kerrville. That's one of the things that's most important to me about Kerrville. They say that the tree of love shine on me again, grows on the bank of the river of suffering. Shine on me again. So weave the sunshine out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup again. Sing it again. Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup again. If only I could heal the sorrow. Shine on me again. I'd help us find our new tomorrow. Shine on me again. Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup again. Once again now. Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup again. I've seen the steel and the concrete crumble. Shine on me again. The proud and the mighty, they've all been humble. Shine on me again now. Weave me the sunshine of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup again. Once again you sing. Out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup again. Only you can climb that mountain. Shine on me again. If you want to drink from the golden fountain, shine on me again now. We, the sunshine of morning rain. We, the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup, sing it once again now. We, the sunshine of morning rain. We, the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup once again. When I first met Rod Kennedy, I had just written that song and recorded it. Just a year earlier. And now I was going on tour. And Rod produced a series of concerts, and we rode together in his famous cars that he always drove beautifully, and we became great friends. So I'm thinking of Rod as I sing this song, and I'm thinking of the continuity between the spirit that started the New Folks, which was so much a part of what Kerrville became. So that people come here not to watch the stage only, they come to be validated with their own efforts, to hear what other people are singing. What happens in the campfires is as meaningful and productive as what happens from the main stage. And they're a group. Christopher, he goes someplace and he knows there's a pervert there. I mean, they don't come. I told somebody the other day, you come down here and it'll change your life. And I perceive that if we pursue this particular effort together, Kerrville, Steve Seskin and I, and these other extraordinary songwriters, and then what I'd like to consider for next year is bringing some of the songwriters who have written these songs that have come out of this and have a special night here in Kerrville for these to be shared. Could be at the Threadgill, could be on the main stage. And I don't think it's going to be popular. I think it's going to be history. And I think that it will once again affirm that Kerrville is the heart and soul of the kind of songs that make our hearts one and united. And with that, tell me why you're crying, my son. I know you're frightened like everyone. Is it the thunder in the distance you fear? Tell if I stay very near. My son, I am here, and we sing it now. And if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. And if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. Day is done. The day is done. Day is done. When the day is done. must go inside, my son. You shall inherit what humankind has done. In a world filled with sorrow and woe, if you ask me why this is so, my son, I really don't know. What you take, and if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. And if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. The day is done. Tell me why you're smiling, my son. Is there a secret you can tell everyone? Do you know more than those that are wise? Can you see what we all learn to disguise through your loving eyes? And if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. And if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. Oh, when the day is done. Oh, when the day is done. Day is done. And if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. And if you take my hand, my son, all will be well when the day is done. When the day is done. When the day is done. The reason that this Threadgill concert is so important to me is that it allows me to do what I feel is most precious to me at Kerrville, because I have inherited the legacy of Peter, Paul, and Mary, and because Kerrville's connection to that has been so profound in the past, where there is an intersection of music, and commitment, and ethic, and children who are standing there watching, fascinated, as I talk to them, and they have no idea that I'm actually speaking to them. I'm going to ask Steve Seskin to come on stage once more, and we'll finish off with a couple of songs. Thank you. I'm anxious to know, do you feel this is a good idea?
Yes.
Officially, we have only 3 minutes, but unofficially translated into the tradition of my inability to respect that constraint.
That's correct. That's correct.
We have a total of 10 minutes. That's it. Therefore, this will be... Where's your guitar? I need a guitar? Therefore, we need... This is our finale. This next song. And the song after that will be our 4th encore. And I want to tell you, it's really an honor to see that all of you... It is washed to the sea. Years can some people say, how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free. How many times can I turn his head? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend